welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. This is Imperial Assault. This is the Legends of the Alliance app campaign, and we are playing through Flight of the Freedom Fighter. You can see right here on the far left side, we've got a ton of Imperials. We got a bunch of Stormtroopers in the back. We've got Stormtroopers in the front. We have a probe droid in the middle. We've got some officers in the front, kind of ordering the troops. And right here near the Rebel base, heading in and retreating, is our Rebel Trooper, our lone one, holding off as many Imperials as possible, with our heroes trying their best to heal up, getting ready for the onslaught that's coming towards them. Now, Dee in the last video ended off with much worse off. I shouldn't say ended off, but during that video had quite a bit of damage to her name. She was able to heal up thanks to some supplies in this room and is now down to only 13 damage out of 22. Whereas Fenn on the other side here has 12 plus the 10, so 22 health, but currently sits at 21 damage. Super close to being wounded, which is not good. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to see if we can have the Rebel Trooper basically use as fodder as Fenn attempts, hopefully, to try to heal up before all these guys get on his tail. So let's go ahead with where we dropped off in the last video, which was the Gray Probe Droid activating. So the Gray Probe Droid is going to activate right now. And he does have a bonus here, Electroshock. It shows at the end of this activation, each adjacent rebel is going to test their tech, and if they fail, they suffer a strain. Well, this probe droid's not likely going to get close to anybody, but we'll see how it pans out. So the very first instruction at the very top of the app says move to attack D. So this probe droid right here is activating, and it's going to try to attack D, who's way in the back here. So obviously, based on normal movement, if this particular spot right here in red wasn't there, this Imperial probe droid could move 1, 2, and make a line of sight shot down the row, and would probably be targeting the Rebel Trooper, because when you have a move to attack, and in brackets it says something like D, yeah, you're trying to attack her first, but if you can't, you go after the next best rebel, which would be the Rebel Trooper. But because we have this blockage right here, this Imperial probe droid would move to and couldn't get past. His line of sight could not make 2 corners on this Rebel Trooper or anything. So that entire instruction is going to get skipped. And usually that one is the one that can usually happen regardless, but because of our distance and this particular terrain element here, we don't have to worry about it. But moving on to the next instruction, it says move to engage as many rebels as possible. So engaging means getting adjacent to as many rebels as possible, minimum 1. We can't do that either because nobody's within 2, so we have to skip that as well. Then we move to the middle one, or that bullet point there, which is always in effect. It just says at this particular stage, if adjacent to a rebel, we end the activation, and they are not. So this is not going to happen. We continue on. It says move to reposition 3. Now, when the repositions come in, this is where things get interesting because you stop skipping stuff, especially if the distance to your rebel isn't possible. So in other words, when it says move to reposition 3, this particular Imperial probe droid will try to move to get as close to any rebel character it can possibly get to. It doesn't, even though it says reposition 3, and normally that would be, stop when you get within 3 of that rebel, it's not going to skip that instruction just because it can't get to that exact positioning. So you can check that in the Legends of the Alliance rulebook. So essentially that is going to be a complete instruction. So he does move 2 to get to there. The next one that's going to pop up is move 4 to engage as many rebels as possible, minimum 1. So we're looking for his second action now. 4 to get to as close to many rebels as he can is 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't get adjacent to anybody. He has to be adjacent to somebody at minimum 1. He can't do that. So he's forced to move to the last one, which says move 4 to reposition 3. So this one's going to have him move until he gets within 3 of a rebel. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that actually works out perfect because he actually is 1, 2, 3 away from the Rebel Trooper. Great thing is the attacks don't happen. There's no attack, he's not adjacent, and there was no other attacks from range from this Imperial probe droid. So all that activations just got him close, but thankfully not enough to do any damage to us. So we can finish off that probe droid's activation. The sad part now is the blue Stormtroopers are going to go because there's no one else on our side. As you can see on the left side, they're all grayed out, and we're done our round. The blue Stormtroopers are going to go. It says right here, after this group's activation, reinforce 1 defeated figure from the group. as close as possible to another figure in the group. Now from the blue group, no one is dead, so we're going to totally ignore that particular bonus because everyone's still alive, although one Stormtrooper is one hit away from being killed. But these guys are going to come right down the pipe at us, and I'm knocking probe droids off the map. All right, so let's get these guys down the alley. So the very first one here says move 4 to attack D. And again, we know what's going to happen with this. The Rebel Trooper is going to likely take a lot of the hits here. So this is going to be really interesting. So we're going to go ahead with the very first one, the very first Stormtrooper. We're going to move him up the map here. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. So he can get to here, which isn't so bad. So I'm going to put his markers on that side. And from where he's standing there, he can he hit D? No, he can't, because he can't get through the Rebel Trooper, as you can see on the corners there. He'd be cutting straight through him, but he's going to shoot the Rebel Trooper instead. So that attack's going to happen on the Rebel Trooper, sadly. So we're going to grab the die for the Rebel Trooper, which is white. And the Stormtrooper is going to be using a blue and a green die. So here's hoping that we can dodge, because I need to basically hold off on this Stormtrooper barrage here because, well, you can handle some damage, a little bit of damage, but I'd prefer her not take any. Okay, well, that's a good one. So we got, that's not really bad at all. So we got 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they got enough range just with the one die alone. There is a surge, there's a block, so my block will get rid of one of the attack hits, but they do have a surge to spend, so we'll take a look at the surge priority. It's +2 accuracy. They don't need that, so +1 damage. So essentially 1 damage does skip through. So our Rebel takes its first hit of damage, but he's still standing, so that's good. So now we'll move on, and we're going to activate the next Stormtrooper. So we'll bring another Stormtrooper up the line here. Now again, actually, sorry, I guess I'll continue repositioning the one and finishing off the actions with the one we moved. So his next one will be move 2 to reposition 4. So we're going to move until you can reposition 4 away from the Rebel Trooper. So we're going to say he's kind of smart, and he's going to kind of hug around the wall. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, he can move, yeah, it's move 2 to reposition 4. So if I move him 1 and then 2, which is on this corner here, I think that's a smart spot for him to be. So that's going to be his repositioning. As you can see, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the, he's 1, 2, 3 away from the Rebel Trooper. So, I was trying to think actually. Would he go there? Maybe he wouldn't. Let me see here. So if he's there, actually, you know what? To be with 4, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's a tough one. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to have him go up against that wall. I think it makes sense. I'm going to use that Imperial rule where kind of things should be nasty. I think he's going to be smart enough to kind of get behind some cover. Although he's technically not covered, but he's covered from the heroes, kind of, at least from Fenn and stuff like that. But we're going to go with that for now. We're going to move on to the next Stormtrooper. So we'll bring this guy up here. He's got, again, he can move 4 to attack D. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. His shot's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Much, much further away. So we'll bring the damage marker for him there. So his shot to try to hit the Rebel Trooper may not even happen. So this is where this may not happen at all. We'll have to see here if we can make line of sight. So we've got one corner there and another corner there. So yes, he can actually make that shot. So he's going to attempt it. The Stormtrooper's got a blue and a green, and I think for range or accuracy, he needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's a doable shot for the Stormtrooper, so he's going to try to do it. Yikes, here we go. Let's see if my Rebel Trooper can hold this off. Oh dear. Oh, good. Whew. So I evade any surges, none happened, but range was nowhere near, otherwise it would have totally devastated my Rebel Trooper, so he shot off and basically almost hit his probe droid. Typical Stormtrooper shot there, garbage, but great for me. So that's essentially his move. Now he's going to move 2 to reposition 4, so this Rebel Trooper's here. If he moves 2, I'm trying to think what would make sense for him. If he moves to reposition 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if he moves 1, 2, then he is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So I'm gonna have him kind of come in like this. Look like that. So now he's 1, 2, 3, 4 away from him. And then, and the reason I'm not going around this way, guys, is because there's terrain element here and I have to go around. So it just makes more logical sense that they're ducking into this corridor here. Even though they're not fully out of line of sight, it's their only option, really. Now we're going to move the last Stormtrooper in the group. So this guy's going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And there we go. We'll put that there. Again, same situation. This guy's going to be shooting down to the Rebel Trooper, and I think everything is fine there. Should be the exact same situation on the 2 side corners. Yep, we're good. So we're going to roll it off, and we're going to see if, well, hopefully their accuracy is garbage. That's really what I'm hoping for here. Ooh, geez, closer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, just too short. But let's see what happens with their surge. Their surge will... Oh, but thankfully I have an evade. So their surge would have given them +2 accuracy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which would have hit me. But because I have the evade, the surge is canceled. And then, of course, the hits and defense don't matter at this point because the attack was null and void. So thanks to some quick thinking, we got our guys far enough back that only one shot was able to land on the trooper, and he's still up even after all that. Now again, we got to reposition this guy, so move 2 to reposition 4. So if I move him here like that, I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that's pretty much as good as it gets. So now they're all clogging up the corridor, and we're going to finish off the Stormtroopers. More Imperial forces come bursting out of the jungle. Oh, this is just precious. Okay, how many blue Stormtroopers are on the board? Well, we have 3. How many gray Stormtroopers are on the board? We have 3. Alright, and oh geez. Deploy an elite probe droid. Oh no. So worst. Okay, so let's grab an elite probe droid card. We'll put that down here. We've got the red token like we've used in the past, and this guy's going to pop in down here. So we've got an elite probe droid who just happened to show up in the bottom corner there. And I think hopefully that's it. I'm hoping there's no more. No, there's more to deploy. Oh geez, here comes a E-Web engineer. The guy's back. We thought we got rid of him, but apparently not. So he's coming back to get us. At least he's a regular one, so that's a plus, I guess. So we got an E-Web engineer here. All right, and just like that, the E-Web engineer has dropped right in beside the elite probe droid, and we got his card right here. And we don't want him anywhere near us, but man, is there ever a ton of Imperials coming at us right now. So we're gonna go ahead and continue on through the app here, see what else it throws at us. Please, no more. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess there's more. It's just deploy an elite E-Web engineer. And there we go. We got our E-Web engineer, the elite versions, deployed in between the Imperial officers. This is getting ridiculous. Here we go. Let's keep going. Let's see what else it throws at us. I'm kind of getting scared. Oh, you've got to be joking me. Through the smoke and haze from the blaster fire, you see the outline of a dark, imposing figure striding out of the jungle. It is not until a glowing red blade appears in the figure's hand that you realize a Dark Lord of the Sith has arrived. You know that you have no chance of defeating Darth Vader. Deploy Darth Vader. Vader cannot be defeated. Oh my goodness. So he's gonna, oh, he's right there next to this guy. So, well, Vader's gonna join us. Alright, I think we got some big problems going on here. A Darth Vader has been added to the map, and here is his card. This guy cannot be defeated, so I cannot kill this individual. So, wow. I mean, if, I guess hard mode really does throw everything at you. So this is pretty exciting. I'm kind of scared, but we're going to continue on here to see what else happens. So let's move along. Only 2 transports have yet to depart, Lieutenant Talcon says over the comlink. Keep standing strong. I feel like this is some kind of cruel joke. Round number 5. Okay, wow. All right, well, here we go. So we got company. I guess the best way to say that, or at least Han would say that. All right, so I figured out my plan of attack here, and what I'm going to do is something a little risky. Now, Fenn is near being wounded, and that is not good. I was thinking I'd have time to med pack up, but I'm really running short on those options. So what I think I'm gonna do is try to get Fenn to basically dice up as much of this situation as humanly possible. I have a really good shot with Havoc Shot right now to hit 1, 2, 3, 4 different individuals if I target this guy right here. So I really have to take this opportunity to do this right now. It would be silly not to weaken that crowd, because that's the major crowd that's going to hit my doorstep as fast as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Fenn. He's going to do some diagonal movement. He's going to go 1. He's going to come around here for 2. From here, he's going to attack straight down the line at this particular Stormtrooper right here. When he does that, the cool thing is he's focused. So in the prior video, we became focused with Fenn. It says when you declare an attack or attribute test, add 1 green die to the dice pool. After you resolve an attack or attribute test, you must discard the card. Of course, we're trusting our feelings. Thank you, Obi-Wan. Hopefully this pans out. So we're going to grab a green die from that. We're going to be grabbing a blue and a green. This is the reasoning behind this one. And what I'm going to do, actually, instead of being as close as I am to him, I'm going to risk it. And instead of going around like this to this spot, I'm going to move from here 1, and then I'm going to go here 2. I'm actually going to step back even further. And the reasoning for this is when he's done making his shot, I'll still have 2 movement to use to do a quick jut back here behind this wall and get even further away from them, because again, he's so damaged. He needs to get behind a wall so he's out of line of sight. So this is really one of the biggest crossing of my finger type shots I've done in a while. That if Stormtrooper's got 1 black die, I'm really hoping I make the range on this. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I need to actually put damage on him for Havoc Shot to happen. Of course, in order to do this, it says use while attacking. I take 1 strain token in order to do Havoc Shot. So here we go. I'm really hoping this pans out. Yep. Looks like we got it, but oh man, did we ever just get that to work out. So we're gonna be able to make this work. So let's see, we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We easily hit the Stormtrooper dead on. This block here is gonna basically get rid of all the damage here, although I do have one surge that I can use, and on my gun I can increase accuracy or damage, so I'm definitely going to choose damage, unless of course I don't need it. In this particular case, I really don't, because what ends up happening is all these blocks take care of these dice. 2 hits get through, and technically this Stormtrooper already has 1 on him, so the 2 hits is going to kill him, so that extra damage means nothing from the surge. So what I'm going to actually end up using it for is to recover the strain back that I just used to use Havoc Shot, which is awesome. So we just killed off this Stormtrooper. The great news is because we landed the shot on top of this, the Havoc Shot now is going to put damage on everybody else around him for 1, which also means we just killed off this Stormtrooper sitting in the corner, so we just thinned out 2 of them, which is awesome. Yes. Okay, so 2 guys are down, and that looks a lot less threatening. And then, of course, this probe droid now has 2 damage on it. Or, you know, I just added 1, so now it has 2. So the Stormtrooper over here is even weak as well. So we're in a much better standing now. And plus this Imperial officer, like, we've thinned this out really well, and I think we're doing a decent job. So now what I'm going to do to finish off Fenn's turn, he used a movement action at the beginning to get his speed value. He used 2 to get to this position. I'll now use 2 to move him back into the back wall here, where he's going to go hide. He's going to end his activation. Now, normally I would activate his Lone Wolf ability, which means he'd recover a strain, but because we got that surge we didn't need, I already went ahead and recovered 1 strain. We have to remember also to discard the focus token, sadly, even though it was perfectly timed for that attack. Man, did we ever need that right then. That may have actually just saved one of my heroes, or at least, yeah, because I don't think I could have actually taken an attack from that blue group. It would have been pretty devastating, I think, from that close range. So we are now done with Fenn, and we can only just cross our fingers and hope that the next activation doesn't destroy us. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Darth Vader. Of course, he's going to activate. Bonus, apply 1 damage to each attack. At the end of this figure's activation, this figure suffers 2 damage. Okay, so basically he's hurting himself, but as the app told us, he can't die. So I don't think regardless of any damage he gets thrown on him, he's not going to die anyway. Activation, it says this figure discards each harmful condition, then suffers 1 damage for each condition discarded. If this figure would be defeated, it is not defeated until the end of this activation. Okay, well, maybe that's some more rules about what I was talking about earlier. So it can be defeated, I guess. So the first thing it says here is brutality. Move forward to engage 2 or more rebels, then attack each adjacent rebel. Yikes. Okay. Move forward to engage 2 or more rebels, then attack each adjacent rebels. Okay, let me just, now this is I have to think about this because this guy, he's way back here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And so he can't move to engage anybody. No one's close by. Then it says attack each adjacent rebel. He can't do that. So I think he has to skip that, and the brutality one he's going to skip because he can't do it. Then it just says move forward to attack the closest rebel. But he can't do that either. Can he attack me from range? I would assume he can. Let me see here. No, it's melee, so he's got force choke, which is coming up here. I don't think he can do the move to attack the closest rebel either because there is no rebels close to him that way. So the next one says force choke, move 2 toward the closest rebel, then that figure suffers 2 damage and 1 strain. Oh my goodness, that's absolutely devastating. So it doesn't matter what the range is. Force choke just absolutely devastates whoever he's close to. Choose a what does it say on the card too? Choose a hostile figure in your line of sight. That figure suffers. Yeah, that's bad. Oh my goodness. Move 2 toward the closest rebel figure, then that figure suffers 2 damage, and yeah, that's horrible. So essentially, what's going to end up happening is he's going to force choke. So he's going to go 1, 2. He's going to head up the way here. Now the crazy thing is that Vader, even from here, like his line of sight for force choke, which probably doesn't matter because it's basically saying it's happening regardless, still is valid because he can actually draw 2 unintercepting lines to the rebel trooper. So he's basically picking that trooper up from the other side of the board and choking him to death. So he chokes him for 2 extra damage, which kills him off. Sadly, we've lost the only barrier we have now between him and Vader. And of course the strain doesn't matter because it was applied to a rebel trooper, and now Vader is happily coming toward us. So that's the first action he did, and then the next one says move 6 toward the closest non-ready hero. Non-ready being activated here. I'm assuming he means Fenn, but toward the closest non-ready hero. So, oh my goodness. He's going after Fenn, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that puts him right here. That's a bit aggressive. Okay, so he's right there, and wow, I'm terrified. I don't know what to think right now. This is insanity. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to finish this off. So he's done his 2 actions. Let me just double check I didn't miss anything here. Apply 1 damage to each attack at the end of this figure. So basically, he actually would have applied another damage to the rebel trooper, but regardless, the rebel trooper is dead. At the end of this figure's activation, the figure suffers 2 damage. So actually, he activated, so technically he suffers 2 damage. I guess he's like hurting himself on his way. But that's pretty much it. I want to see his priority. Ooh, Pierce 3 and +2 on damage. Yikes. Does he do anything else? Ignore brutality, force choke, and foresight abilities on the group card. So basically, he's supposed to ignore every ability that's written, and we did that. We just focused on the instructions only for him, so we played that correctly. So we'll now finish him off. And we're back to us. And this is a point in time where I have to stop. I have to stop at this point in time where we're going to try to figure out what is the next best move to do. So I'm going to stop right here at the end of the episode. This is a pretty exciting ending. This is either going to end in pure bliss or pure destruction. Based on how the rebel trooper just got picked up from across the board, choked and thrown across and killed. things are not looking good. So hopefully you'll join me in the next episode, and hopefully I'll still be here. Whether or not Vader kills me, I do not know. So we will find out together. Thanks again for watching, everyone. If you noticed anything during the playthrough that I missed, let me know in the comments below, and I appreciate all the support. Give me a like or a thumbs up if you like what you've seen so far. This has been helpful, and also if you're just enjoying the playthrough in general. I really do appreciate all the support as always. Thanks again, everyone, and keep on rolling solo.